It was a cold winter night. The fog was so thick that even the streetlights looked like faint, glowing shadows. Rohan stood alone on a nearly empty railway platform. He had missed the last bus home. The station was silent, too silent. The old clock on the wall slowly ticked. 11:58 p.m. Rohan checked his phone for signal. Nothing, not a single bar. He sighed and looked around. Suddenly, the old station speaker crackled to life. "Attention, please. The last train will arrive shortly on platform number 1. Rohan frowned. That was strange. He had lived in this town all his life, and he knew one thing for sure. There was no train at midnight. But a few seconds later, he heard something in the distance. Chug, chug, chug. A train. The sound grew louder and louder. 2 bright headlights slowly appeared through the thick fog. An old rusty train rolled slowly onto the platform. The doors opened with a loud metallic creak. Inside, the lights flickered weakly. Rohan hesitated for a moment, but the cold wind was freezing. So he stepped inside. The doors slammed shut behind him, and the train started moving. The compartment was completely empty. No passengers, no conductor, just rows of dusty seats and flickering lights. Rohan sat near the window and stared outside, but the fog covered everything. The train kept moving and moving, but something felt wrong. It never stopped at any station. Suddenly, he heard footsteps. Talp, talp, talp. Rohan slowly turned his head. A pale old man was walking down the aisle. His clothes looked old from another time, and his eyes looked empty. The old man stopped beside him and spoke in a quiet voice. First time, Rohan looked confused. First time where? The old man gave a strange smile. On this train, a chill ran down Rohan's spine. What train is this? He asked nervously. The old man leaned closer. This train only appears for people who shouldn't be traveling tonight. Suddenly, the train screeched loudly and slowed down. Rohan looked outside the window. What he saw made his heart stop. An abandoned town, broken houses, dark streets, everything covered in fog. The train stopped. The doors slowly opened. And then he heard whispers, hundreds of whispers. Come out, join us, stay with us. Shadowy figures slowly appeared from the fog. Their faces were pale, their eyes hollow. They looked like the dead. Rohan jumped up in panic. What is this place? The old man looked at him sadly. This is where the train brings people who board it. The whispers grew louder. Cold hands reached toward the train. Rohan ran through the compartments in fear. But everywhere he looked, more passengers appeared, silent, watching him. Finally, he stopped, breathless. The old man's voice echoed behind him. There is only one way out. Rohan turned and ran toward the open door. He jumped out of the train, into the thick fog, and everything went silent. The train doors slowly closed, and the train disappeared into the darkness. The next morning, Rohan was found unconscious near abandoned railway tracks. When he finally woke up in the hospital, he whispered something that terrified everyone. Don't take the midnight train, because it still stops at that station. And sometimes, late at night, people in the town still hear it. Chug, chug, chug. A train that doesn't exist. Waiting